But another kind of ethical, it's not so much ethical, it's more the application of and how it's going to affect, but it is kind of ethical, is education. I've got a question. If you were in school now, would you be using it?
Lads, I'm fully using it. I'm using it now. If there is a fee on ChatGPT, then the counter bot, there's also a fee on that. Well then, if your institution or your school's not paying for it, kids or, adolescents who can afford to use the bot might get better answers.
Well, another kind of ethical, it's not so much ethical, it's more the application of and how it's going to affect, but it is kind of ethical, is education. Because me and you've we've talked about this at length.
So I'll just start off. The other day seen, it was in The Guardian, a school in New York straight up just banned ChatGPT because so many students, even within its first few weeks of release, and we'll put the Guardian link in the bio of this podcast, or whatever you're listening to on YouTube, Spotify. They banned it because so many students in essays and courseworks were just straight up using it.
But I've got a question. If you were in school now, would you be using it?
Lads, I'm fully using it. I'm using it now. You know what I mean?
No, but now I use it responsibly.
But how do you stop a 13?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If I was in school, would I be using it responsibly? Would I would put every single question I ever got asked into the fucking thing and just copy and paste the output.
It's not just essays. I've seen a video of a guy on Twitter, a student, putting his maths exam questions in. Like A-level exam questions. They were multiple choice, so it said, is it A, B, C or D? The ChatGPT calculated it, showed you it's working, and then saying, therefore, the answer's B, which is... But as you say, if I was 13, asking 13-year-old Sam, do you want to do it yourself, Sam? And figure it all out.
Or do you want to get 80% of it done by a computer and you have to tweak it?
And you still get, and we know school is, it's all based on what grades you get. And if something is helping you get those grades, you don't care, man. You're just going to use it.
You do what you do to get the grades. And then this opens up the whole thing in education is it memory or is it learning? But then that's a whole other debate for a...
But how do you solve that though then? Right?
So I saw one thing on Twitter. It's on Twitter. Do you know what I mean?
That means it's true.
Don't chop my head off, sir. But someone had took a picture of a Turnitin thing, and again, no man, look, this will probably someone has disproved this as false by the time I talked about it. Well, I've seen it, so I'll talk about it. It was like
do it.
AI. This. It was some. I'm paraphrasing. I'll get my words out at some point. This essay was likely written with an AI generator or ChatGPT.
Okay.
Therefore, you'll get 0 because they were able to detect it was AI generated, and then someone was like, "I can't believe I've been clocked."
So that was on Twitter.
Yeah.
On Turnitin.
I don't know if it was Turnitin, but
something
where you submit it and then it goes through. So then that is a solution. I mean, as we've said, there will no doubt now be researchers putting grants together to be a ChatGPT buster.
A counter, but
yeah,
that's the thing, no, isn't it?
100%.
Every time there's a new, iteration of ChatGPT, there needs to be more iterations of a counter to that, and there's always going to be windows and months of overlap where maybe the counter isn't as optimized as the new.
But the issue we've got now is that this technology is out of the box. It's like the whole thing with the Pandora's box. This technology's out there now.
It's gone, man. Yeah, it's out there. You can't.
So your choice is we either do nothing. So there's three choices. I'll get there in the end. It's like that Gary Neville meme. He's like, it's 96, 97, 98, 99, 99.
That's when you recall him what year you did something. 94, 95, 96, 97.
That's me. I'll go, I did something last week. No, I didn't. It was 6 months ago. I'll always say last week. Anyway, so there's three choices really. The way I've been thinking about it, there's three choices. We either do nothing, except that students have now got this new tool, right? Fucking that happens, and then we wait for governments to reform the whole education system. That's obviously not
adjust to ChatGPT.
That's obviously not the correct approach because governments take absolutely fucking years to do anything. So
there's going to be about 10 years of kids who get free grades.
Then it'll be change the type of questions you'll ask
Yeah.
so that ChatGPT becomes ineffective.
Yeah.
Or 3, develop these other softwares that can
counter it.
So, for example, on that second point I just made about the different types of questions, I was watching a video by 60. I think it's 60 Symbols. Are you familiar with it?
No.
So it's like this physics YouTube page where it covers stuff quite quick and they go over it. It's like a nice informal way to kind of watch stuff, talk about physics. No, it's just like an overall. So it doesn't teach you. It
doesn't teach. Okay.
It's more just like talking. Are you familiar with Numberphile?
Yeah. Like that. Okay. Okay.
I think it's the similar people who make it. So a guy was basically going through like different levels of physics papers, and putting it into ChatGPT. But what the physics questions were on the paper was more interpret this picture. A lot of them were like interpret what's on the page, right? So that automatically rules out ChatGPT because there's no image recognition functionality.
Yeah, but what happens when that comes?
Well, again, we'll get into that.
So you're just backstepping the exams a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is like having this interpretability thing is great. But then also we asked it questions where it got the right answer, but the fundamental physics behind the description of the answer was totally bollocks.
Yeah.
So it was something to do with harmonic moments, like a pendulum.
Yeah.
And it was basically saying that at the top of a pendulum, it has the most kinetic energy. So, no, the point of maximum displacement is where it has the most kinetic energy. Well, that's obviously bollocks, because the most kinetic energy is when it's moving and it has zero displacement. So it was going through basically saying, look, if someone had copied this answer, they'd have got the right answer, but they'd have got 0 marks. Because the physics, what they've cited, is absolute horseshit.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a solution, but I think the genuine solution is...
I know, I agree. I think...
It's somewhere between all 3.
No, it is somewhere between all 3. You need the whole education system to alter. To
update.
You need exams and how we assess kids to be altered, which I think is the fastest solution. Like, you can get individual institutions, a university making alterations to their exams rather than having to go through.
If another company builds a ChatGPT buster, how much they charge? But then
there's also, that gets back to ethics. If there does end up being a fee on it, and we're just like talking semantics here of what could happen, if there is a fee on ChatGPT, then the counter bot, there's also a fee on that. Well then, if your institution or your school's not paying for it, kids or adolescents who can afford to use the bot might get better answers.
Well, and then I suppose there's another ethical question as well. Is
when the kids who can't are just...
when ChatGPT gets paid for, because we're getting in. I saw this online, on a guy called Cold Fusion. His video, we put this in a way. I was like, because I'm going to go into one of his videos later about the Microsoft thing, because I watched it before. It's a really good video summarising everything. And what he said basically was like, we're moving from the information age, which is what we've got now, where you can go on search links, to the knowledge age, where you will have this thing where you can go on and it teaches you, it summarises everything that you could search for. But then imagine if that's then put behind a paywall, so then the smart kids have this knowledge software.
The rich kids, you mean?
What did I say?
Behind the paywall, the smart kids.
Yeah. That one.
The rich kids.
So the rich kids who already have been shown in literature, whether they start off, so it's something like, isn't it like, if the richer kid you are, you can start off academically less, but then overshoot due to money anyway. It's already been shown rich kids.
Yeah, that's right.
They're going to have access to a knowledge software, and poorer students from poorer areas aren't. So there's another massive ethical implication of it.
And you talking about moving from the information age to the knowledge age. I would mention this to you the other day. I always think about when I was doing my undergrad degree, you always had lecturers who'd say to you like,
back in my day,
back in the 90s, you don't know how easy it is you have now. You just go to the library, you get on the computer, you get on your laptops, you go on Google and look for articles, journals, references, and within a few hours you can reference up a whole piece of text or get a whole
Yeah.
essay together. He said back in my day, or she'd say back in my day, you'd have to go to the library, you'd have to manually search the aisles for the books and the journals you're looking for. You'd spend a few hours collecting 10, 20, 30.
Yeah.
You'd go to your seat, you'd have to go
You'd
through them.
read.
It wouldn't have the information you'd want. And if something doesn't have all the information you want, you just exit off and do the search again.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, oh shit.
We're
in
going
about
to say the
20
same
years'
thing.
time, I'm going to be going to a kid who's on, oh, lucky you've got it. Back in my day,
We had to
I used
search
to have
links,
to manually
click.
go on Google and type in and check links and read the whole article. And now you just say, can I have this summarised? And it spits knowledge back at you. And I'm sure they're going to be saying something to their future generations about, we only had ChatGPT. You've got ChatGPT 2 million, whatever the new iteration is at the time.
But it is, it's insane, isn't it?
It's nuts.